Yes.
So welcome everyone to this event, to this ladies' night. We actually had some music to play in the background, but decided I guess not to because we want to make sure that we take all the time that we have allotted for this webinar for having this conversation and having this chat. So to start off, I just wanted to introduce myself and also introduce Seneca. My name is Jersey Garcia, and I am a marriage and family therapist. I'm also a coach, and I work with women in trying to get them from piss to bliss. If you want more information about what I do, you can find me at jerseygarcia.com. And right here next to me is a good friend who's also a mental health counselor, a licensed mental health counselor, Seneca Williams, and she helps women have happy Mondays, especially when you're thinking about your career, when you're thinking about your job. But she also helps a lot of individuals through her counseling, through her mental health support to individuals, families, and sometimes couples as well. So I know that I put in the chat for anybody that's coming in that you can mute yourself. There's a little microphone on the bottom that you can mute. It says mute under it, and you can mute yourself. The same thing happens with the video part of it. You can also take off the camera, and the video you will not see. So, do you want to add anything else about what you do, Seneca?
Well, yeah, sure, of course. So I have experience working, as Jersey said, with individuals, couples, families, children. I've done that since 2008. But since that time, recently I've begun to specialize in working with women on their careers and helping them to either love the jobs that they're in or get a new job or transition to a new career altogether. So you can find more information on me, senecawilliams.com, and I help women to love Monday.
Yay! So, and we put all that information too in the chat. So if you have any questions too, make sure that you insert any information in the chat. Especially if you have questions, we'll hopefully have a little bit of time towards the end, so you can also send us some questions our way. So let's start. So the reason why we wanted to have this conversation is because we felt we are both women, single mothers that are divorced, and also wanted to have a conversation with many of you who are in the same predicament, who are single moms. Some of you are not single mom, but have just ended a long-term relationship or a marriage. You might be divorced as well. And a lot of the conversations that I'm having with some girlfriends and some friends and even colleagues and other women that are in the same kind of environment as us, we're always talking about how do we talk about opening up again to dating again, opening up to a new relationship, to even thinking about opening up and finding a new mate, or just somebody that we want to start forming a relationship or opening up to. So today we're going to be talking about that, and that's why we named it the best sex after your ex. That's right. Because there's certain things that have to happen for you to have the best sex after your ex. And we also have experience dating after our divorces. So that we also come here with information both as mental health professionals, but we also come with the experience of dating after our exes. So that's what we bring today.
Yes.
So starting off, Seneca, I'm going to ask you, what is one thing or the first thing that you think women should consider when they're trying to open themselves up to a relationship or to just starting to get out there? Like you mentioned, I know that in Facebook you were promoting this event as saying that Stella got her groove back. How does
Stella get her groove back?
What is one beginning step for Stella to get her groove back?
Well, I will tell you, Stella gets her groove back because Stella is happy. That's why she got her groove back. She's happy. And how she gets happy is she learns to heal herself. You have to heal yourself. It is so difficult when you're going through that breakup in that time, because what happens is you're experiencing all the emotions of major loss. So even for myself, I described it as a death.
Yes.
I felt like someone died.
Yeah, that's basically what happens.
And for me, I had to go through the emotions.
Yeah.
A lot of times what people try to do is skip over that part and, you know, jump back into the game and start dating again. And they find a rebound. But usually what happens is when you do that, you haven't taken time to heal and you haven't done work on yourself to be happy by yourself.
Yeah.
So when you're happy by yourself, you will get your groove back. And I tell my clients, you know, those feelings of loss, it's much like, when someone died, you go through stages of grief.
Yes.
Okay. So they go through the process and the stages of grief. And sometimes people are asking me, how long does it take? How much time does it take? And it's really not about time. It's about going through those stages of grief. And the last stage being acceptance. Okay. So once you go through the anger, denial, bargaining, depression, and you get to acceptance that this is what it is and I'm going to be okay, you're going to be able to move on from it. And then you're going to be able to forgive yourself and then forgive your ex so that you can be happy.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because there's a saying in Spanish that sometimes when you're getting out of a relationship, that they'll say, un clavo saca otro clavo, which means one nail will take out another nail. So sometimes people, like you mentioned, will jump in from one relationship to another because they don't want to feel. They know that they're going through some pain, through some loss, and they don't want to feel those emotions, be it that the relationship that you had, the divorce, or the long-term relationship ended because of betrayal, or ended because basically the love ended, or for whatever reason. But the person feels that maybe if I don't feel, if I just skip that part of healing my relationship or healing my past, if I just skip it and just go straight and just meet somebody else, it's better because I don't have to feel, I don't have to go through the emotions, because it's painful. And it's painful, and we don't like pain. We don't like pain.
No, we don't want to hurt.
We don't want to hurt. We don't want to hurt.
And, you know, we try to drown our pain in happy hours.
Yes, in a lot of happy hours.
You know, to be real, of course, you're going to have ladies' night out. You're going to go out with the girls. You're going to have happy hours and things like that. But if you're depending on these things and not dealing with it, you're always going to end up in a cycle of going back to that initial pain. So everything in moderation, you know, I'm not knocking having fun, going out, but you do have to go through the process and deal with the pain.
So what do you think about the second thing that I think in part, and what we're talking about is preparing. Right now we're touching upon the subject of preparing to go into, entering or trying to start opening your heart, your mind into having, or getting to know somebody else outside of your marriage, once your marriage finished or you're divorced. And what's another thing? I mean, I know that we talked about healing the last relationship or healing that. What is another thing that women can do to prepare? And I think you mentioned it already, but what's...
Okay, so you have to get happy. And another way you get happy besides the healing and the forgiveness is dating yourself.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. And people are like, how do you date yourself? What do you do? I'll tell you what you can do, and I'll tell you what I did. So when I seriously thought about dating myself, I thought about, what do you do when you go on a date? What do you usually do? You get dressed up, you plan something, you do your hair, you wear something nice, you put on some makeup, and then you go someplace really nice, right? And I did that.
Yeah.
And I kept doing it.
Yeah.
My biggest date with myself was a concert.
Oh, where did you go?
I went to American Airlines Arena to a hip hop concert.
Oh, yeah.
And I paid for my ticket.
And you went by yourself?
I went by myself. I got sexy. I dressed up.
Yeah.
I, did my hair, everything. Just like if I was going to be picked up and taken out on a date, I did everything that way. And, at first when I got there, I'm like seeing other people on dates and I'm like, they're on dates.
Holding hands.
They're holding hands. I'm by myself. Oh my goodness. And, I'm seeing like groups of friends and everything. Yeah. But you want to know something? I started to feel super powerful.
Yes.
Like I was feeling like Wonder Woman. I was feeling myself. I'm like, I'm here by myself and I'm going to get my, glass of wine and I'm at the concert and I'm standing and I'm enjoying and I'm dancing. And I was like, I don't have to worry about anybody. Mm-hmm. And I actually remember seeing a couple in front of me and I saw them arguing. I don't know why they were arguing, but I was like, man, I don't have anybody arguing because I'm here by myself. And I like myself as a date.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm having a good time with myself because I'm doing it.
Exactly. You're doing what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing too, like when you're in a long-term relationship, you tend to lose yourself. You stop forgetting what you used to like, what you like doing by yourself or what you enjoy doing, be it going out and seeing concerts or you get into this routine because you already you're in a relationship, you're settled. Then you get divorced and you forget, you've forgotten what are the things that made you happy before and what filled you. Because remember, if we don't fill ourselves, we can't give to somebody else.
We can't pour out the empty cup. Exactly.
And also what happens too is that we'll then drag all this stuff from our past relationship into this new relationship that we are looking to have. We will, what's that song, The Bag Lady? We will bring it with us.
Bag Lady.
And that's not it's not fair for the next person that you're going to be interacting with. It's not fun, especially if you weren't able to heal those situations, those feelings. And if you weren't able to take care of yourself and date yourself, because then if you don't do that for yourself, you're going to be expecting that person to do it for you. Right. And then you have that expectation, and when that person can't do it for you, then you're upset because you're thinking, well, he needs to complete me. And it's not about he needs to complete me. You're supposed to complete yourself. And then the other person that comes around is the icing on the cake that supports that and supports you. But you first have to start with yourself.
Yeah, for sure. You have to be whole and complete. And, you can't sit there and wait for a guy to take you to the movies, take you to a restaurant, take you to see a play. If you want to go see that play or that, go to that movie, it's not going to be there forever, right? You're going to be depressed. You're going to sit at home. I don't have anybody to take me. Take yourself. Go by yourself. And, a lot of times I hear, well, what are people going to think about me if they see me by myself? Are you going to see those people?
And let me tell you, you sitting by yourself in let's say a bar or a restaurant, you're a magnet. Yeah. And the thing is that because you then exude confidence and that I don't need to entertain you. I'm here as icing on the cake. So the other person doesn't feel responsible for your happiness anymore or because obviously you know how to take care of yourself. You know how to take care of your own happiness. So how can that person contribute? And then that person doesn't feel that they have to now be the one providing that for you. So if a young lady sitting there or one of us sitting there in that concert.
We're young ladies.
Young ladies, that's right. In the concert or at the bar or at the restaurant, we tend to be more attractive because people, the other sex or male, if you're looking for a heterosexual relationship, that person is more attractive because they know that they don't. You're not looking for somebody that care for you, but to compliment you. If that makes sense.
That's perfect sense to me.
Okay. All right.
Like, I could take you or leave you, but I'm still okay.
I'm still okay. That's right. All right. I also wanted so the next thing, I guess, step 2 in considering and going out there and trying to open up to new relationship is the dating part. So what would be the first thing to consider when you are ready to date? When you think I healed, I dated myself, it's been fabulous, I feel in my essence, I feel myself, and I know what makes me happy. What is the next thing around dating that women should be considering?
Well, when you're ready to date and you're truly ready, and you went through those first things where you prepare, as Jersey said, it's important that you're going out there and dating who you want to date when you are ready to date. Don't have your girlfriends pull you to speed dating or a matchmaker or hooking you up. there's just so much pressure. And with all of that pressure, you don't have great sex, right?
Yeah.
So
No.
it's too much.
It's sloppy.
So you want it to be really natural. You want to go out there and make friends. So you go to networking events, you go to social groups, you hang out with your friends and family, they go someplace, you go with them, you meet people everywhere. People are everywhere. You meet them in the library, bookstore, supermarket.
Online, and I know that some
people,
I have tried online.
Okay, so you meet people in all these places. And I will be honest, for me, you really get to know someone that way a lot better than, in the pressured situations.
Yes.
You get to see them in their element. And one thing that's really, really important is when you start dating again and you go on that first date, he is not your potential husband.
I know, sometimes we think that way. No. See it as you're meeting up with a friend that you're getting to know, that you're actually catching up. I know that we go there because I've done it. I'm telling you, I've done it. I've been on a date and I've been like, ooh, I can see. I see the flowers. My last name will go.
What would our kids look like?
Yes, all that.
If he likes houses with 3 bathrooms. No, don't do that to yourself.
No. Don't put that expectation right away, because at the same time they sense it. They sense it. Like, you see them, they're like, would there be a second date? I'll call you. You never get that call back. So see it as be more relaxed about it. I know that sometimes we feel pressured because I was speaking to a colleague this morning about that. For young women who haven't been married, the pressure is like, hurry up, find somebody to be married. Hurry up and pushing this.
Everybody's pressuring me.
Everybody's having babies. Everybody's getting married. So hurry up. For us women who have been married before or have had a long-term relationship, everybody else is pushing us because they're like, you're going to stay alone. You know what's going to happen, and you don't want to be alone for the rest of your life. Imagine you an old lady with nobody.
Right, you're going to be old lady with cats, and you got to find somebody.
Yeah, and you got to find somebody.
Yeah.
So there's that pressure. Yeah. Don't you want to fall in love again?
Yeah.
Don't you want to share your life with somebody? Yes, but that there's that pressure that society and friends and family put on us.
They mean well.
And they mean well. They want us happy. But then we bring that to the table when we're having dinner with this person or when we're having a coffee. I've had it happens to me because I come on, especially at the beginning, I will come on very strongly in the sense of like, I'm asking for like, what's your 5-year plan? Like, what are your expectations? What's your credit score? And immediately they get put out like, what? I'm just trying to get to know you. Like, who are you? And I think it's taught me a lot to just like, no, okay, this is a person that I'm meeting. That it's even like you mentioned, like in network events. If you go to a networking event, you ain't gonna ask somebody like, hey, what's your credit score? Or what's your 5-year plan? Or do you want to have a long-term relationship off the bat?
No. You
just start to getting to know them and just see it as forming a friendship or a getting to know. So that's I think is really important.
And it's really important that you have that mindset because it helps you with the second part of dating. So I give people the analogy, like, think about an interview.
Yeah.
Right? On an interview, you have numerous phone calls and emails, and you meet at least 3 times before they're like, yeah, we'll take a chance on you and hire you.
Yeah.
Right? But why don't we do that in relationships? It takes time to know if you even want to date someone.
Yeah.
You don't know if you want to date them on the first date. You might go on the first date and say, no, this is not a connection. It's not for us. So, it's important to have that mindset because then you want to be clear.
Yeah.
You want to have a clear mind so you can tell this person what you're interested in and you can find out what they're interested in. Because a lot of women kind of move past those questions and then they find themselves in situationships where, oh my God, I thought that we were like serious.
Yeah.
And
so those are the
oh
assumptions.
God,
we make assumptions. We make assumptions.
So you have to be clear on what you want going forward. If you want this person to be a companion, you need to say that. If you want a serious committed relationship, you need to say that. You know,
if
have
you
to
just
be
want
clear
a
on it.
booty call, you
You
gotta
have to
say that.
Yeah. So you have to
Yeah.
tell the person what it is that you want and be very clear on it.
Yeah, very clear. And I think that for instance, when I started thinking about dating, I made a list. I actually sat with a piece of paper and I listed the attributes, values that this person held. I even went to the extent of stating if I wanted that person to have a child or not. If I said I really would like this person. If somebody can mute their phone, mute their radio, that would be great. I know I got mine locked up over there. So so being very clear about what you want or what you need. So I wrote everything. I wrote like, I want him to have one child, and for that child to be male. I even went to that extent. I was very specific about what I wanted. I wanted that person to be financially stable. I put all these attributes. I wanted that person to be a person that I can communicate with, that had an open mind. And let me tell you, that's the person that I dated after my marriage and after my divorce. I'm sorry. And I started dating 2 years after my divorce, two and a half years after my divorce. And he had one child. It was a male child. It was all the same things that I wrote. And the reason why this is important is because so you can know what you're looking for and not have any doubts. Because one thing that I find with a lot of women, and I know that I saw it in myself, is that we start to relegate our power to somebody else because we don't want to lose them, because we want to be liked, because sometimes we're desperate and we feel like, we want to keep this relationship and it might not be the best relationship. So we let some red flags that might be showing up, we let it slide because, again, we're relegating our power because we don't know what we want, or we feel that we have to basically relegate our power because we want to keep this relationship, we want to make sure that this works. So we'll let certain things slide. And that's not a good position to be in. And especially after you've been married and after you've been in a long-term relationship, the last thing you want to do is to start relegating your power to somebody else. To relegate your power, the way that you're supposed to feel, not knowing what you want, or start doubting yourself. That's not what you want.
So if I can, add to that in giving up your power, a lot of times why that happens is we put our self-worth in a man, and we think, okay, well, if he chooses me and if this man is interested in me, I must be important. I must be beautiful. I must be great. I must be wonderful. And, sometimes there's not a connection. So when there's not a connection, we find ourselves like struggling to keep him interested. We're struggling to keep him turned on. We're like, am I sexy enough? Am I smart enough? And then am I
pushing too much?
Right, am I doing? Yeah, what am I doing? And then you find yourself like shape-shifting and changing and trying to fit into his box. And when you do that, you give up your power. You are giving, because you're trying to be something and someone that you're not. Because if you don't do that, you feel like you're not worthy. You feel like you're not enough. You feel like you're not beautiful. So
you are so right. I just recently, it's interesting because I had that experience, because it creeps up on you. You think you got it. You think you got it on lockdown, but sometimes it's not completely on lockdown, but it just sneaks up on you. I have to remind myself that it's not about them choosing me, it's that I choose them. I am the one that chooses who I want to be, and that there's a plethora.
You have power of choice.
You have power of choice. And so I found myself that I asked a question, and I think it was like something about like, oh, what are you getting out of this in this platform or an online platform or something? And that person came back to me kind of like, oh, you're being very clinical. You're asking very kind of clinical questions, or you're very, and I was like, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, wow. I'm gonna, he's not gonna like me. I'm doing something wrong. He called me out on something. So immediately I think that there's something wrong with me and that I need to tone it down and that I'm doing something wrong. But in reality, and I wrote back, I was like, I asked certain questions because I want to know how the people that I'm interacting with basically go through life, interact in this world. How do they think? Are they kind of like just thinking about these little things here and there, but are they also bigger thinkers and thinking about other things? So that's where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from from a place of investigation. And I even had a guy ask me one day, like, "Oh, are you from the FBI or CIA? Because I feel like you're asking these questions that are very tough." But and that sometimes makes you feel like, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. But in reality, it might not be the best match. It might not be the person that you can connect best with, especially intellectually. Because us women, sometimes we have to be stimulated intellectually. I know I do. So yeah. So check that out. Just make sure that you know what you want and that you're not relegating your power to somebody else, and that you're not waiting, that you're not doubting yourself and thinking that you have to shape shift or change for somebody else, that you are enough and that you are the one that chooses, not the other way around. Right?
And when you do that, then you don't worry as much about, oh my God, is he going to play me? Is he going to cheat on me? Is he running a game? You don't worry about that as much because you are choosing this person. If they so choose to do things or lie or whatever it is, you have the ability to choose to believe the lies, or you can choose to walk away.
Yeah.
A lot of people, though, we're moving into these relationships so fast and we don't want to walk away. We don't want to be alone. Our self-worth is in the person. So like you said earlier, there are red flags.
Yeah.
Things are coming up, things are popping up, you notice things, you're so afraid to ask these questions that you don't, and then when you don't ask questions, you don't feel comfortable, you don't feel secure. It's not going to work out, it's not going to feel right. You want to be free. So, in the topic, if you want to have good sex, you want to connect, you want to be intimate, you have to be comfortable with someone. So if they're like, you're asking too many questions and you're like the FBI and they're like locked down
and they don't want to open up,
you have the option.
Then you can get it going.
Right.
And that is, it's just not, we're not connected. That's good. And I can keep it moving. And it's okay to keep it moving. And that potential person is out there for you as well. So if there's anybody else too that maybe just joined in, make sure that you mute your line with the little icon in the bottom with the microphone. Just mute it so we don't have the background noise coming in. So lastly, we want to talk about sex, because I know that some of you came in because you heard the word sex in it.
I heard best sex.
The best sex. But a lot of all these things that we mentioned before about healing your past relationships, about dating yourself, getting to know what you want, not relegating your power to somebody else. It's very important when you're getting ready to have the best sex after your ex. So those are basically the foundation. When you're ready to move into being intimate with this person that you met, that you feel safe with, things to consider is first safety again. And hopefully the foundation creates the safety, the foundation of you feeling confident, you knowing what you want, because that creates a safe foundation for you to be intimate and to open yourself up. I don't know how, I think that that's something that sometimes we give up our safety, again, like we mentioned before, because we're afraid that this person's not gonna like us, or it's not gonna be, I don't know, they're not gonna like us, or we're not gonna be able to find the connection that we want to find. But think about what makes you feel safe. So even when you're thinking that this is gonna happen, we're gonna get down, then make sure that what's safe for you. Is it safe that you got to make sure that this person does not have any type of, that you know that this person is going to have contraception with them, let's say condoms. If you want to make sure that you know where this is happening, is it going to be in a space that you feel that nobody's going to walk in? What is safety for you? Because as women, a lot of the times we need to feel some sort of safety to be able to open up and be able to enjoy the experience. Because it's not so much about what's the different things that we're doing, it's more about how can I enjoy the experience. So the first thing that I recommend in having the sex after your ex is that part, that safety part, and that safety part is included in that first in that preparing and in that day.
Right, because you're talking about safety with your too. So sometimes we think about sex and women, sometimes we definitely don't compartmentalize it. So we definitely want to know that we have taken care of our and I'm pretty straightforward with people. I know women in their 40s and 50s that are still not comfortable talking to their partner about safe sex and safety and things like that. I'm like a straight shooter and I'm going to and I think that's the best way to be. So you're not assuming anything. Have the conversations about contraception for not only STDs, but for me, I'm talking about pregnancy and those are things that
because we can still get pregnant. Some of us can still get pregnant.
Very much so, yes.
And also, to let you know, I work in the area of HIV/AIDS prevention in my and one thing that we're seeing is an increase in women or in individuals that are that are 50 years and older, an increase in new cases of HIV. And the reason is that some people are divorcing around that time, or separating, and they're starting to date new people. And that it might mean that maybe it was from their previous relationship that they got infected, and they just realized it once they get a divorce, and then they got a checkup and whatnot. Or they went and they started dating, and because they feel like, especially for us women, they're like, well, I already went through menopause. I don't need to be protecting myself.
Right. They're just thinking about pregnancy.
They're thinking about pregnancy, but they're not thinking about other things that can happen. So that's one important thing. For you to have the best sex after your ex, think about your safety. Think about what safety means to you in an intimate environment. And the last part or something to consider when you're for you to have the best sex after your ex is to start getting, let's say, more acquainted to your feminine energy and to become more playful. So when I say playful, is that no more judgment about your body. This is the body you got. This is whatever it has, the rolls. If it has some rolls, if the breasts are kind of flat, it's fine. This is our body. You have to start loving it and feeling confident about it and stop judging it. Because this body gets you wherever you gotta get. It gives you eat, it nourishes you, it does all the things that it needs to do to keep you going. So it's about loving what you have, because that is going to be very attractive to the person that you're going to be with and that you're going to be intimate with. Because the person that you're going to be intimate with might not have the body of a 20-year-old either. Might not be Hercules or a top model from a magazine. So no more judgment. No more judgment about our bodies. No more judgment about their bodies. Because it's about the intimacy and it's about the connection that you're going to be making with that person. And you can experience pleasure and think about how you want to feel and enjoy this moment or that experience. You can't have fun if you're judging yourself and you're judging that person's body. And then continue, be playful. experiment, try things that you probably didn't try when you were in your marriage or in your long-term relationship. And at least try it once. But only the things that you feel comfortable with, because again, we don't want you to give up your power. You do the things that you feel in control, that you feel that are within your power, and that you want to at least try and give it a try. So that's one thing that a second thing, the third thing that I recommend when you're thinking about intimacy. Again, after marriage or after a long-term relationship. I don't know if that will sum it up. If you have any other recommendations around sex or intimacy, especially when we're considering intimacy or sex after a long-term relationship.
I think we covered all the areas. Most important thing is really don't put ourselves first, our thoughts and our feelings, and it's so important that we do that, because then we're better for ourselves, we're better for others, and the experience is better.
Yeah, the experience is better. It's about, and at the end of the day, like we said, yes, about ourselves is about our pleasure. What's going to make us happy? What is going to bring us pleasure? What is going to fun? And what is going to be the best? Because we can define what's going to be the best in the act, but you define that. You're the one that does that. And you define it by knowing what you want, what you desire, what makes you happy, what brings you pleasure, and also that you're confident in your body. That you're confident on everything that you got and everything in your body. Laugh at yourself if you have to. If something doesn't go right, if somebody falls off the bed or somebody kicks somebody in the face, laugh at it. We're grown. That's it. It's laugh at it. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it rolling. Let's keep having fun. Less fun. Let's enjoy it. So, in ending, I know that we're ending soon. Our timer here is telling us that we should be wrapping it up. I hope that this webinar was of service to you. I don't know if you have any questions. There is a chat box. In the chat box, I don't know if you got information about us. We'll be putting it that goes in there for you to see. Let me know if you are able to see it or not. But if you have information, if you have questions, you can put it in the chat. We would love to have more of these conversations. So if you think that this is something that you want to do, let us know. And oh yes, thank you. And then let us know. And you can also find us at SenecaWilliams.com or at JerseyGarcia.com. I also invite you, if you'd like to get a clarity session to talk to me, chat about something that you're struggling with that has you pissed off and you want to get to bliss, let me know. You can go to my website and schedule a clarity session. There's a form that you have to fill out, and I welcome 15 minutes of conversation to see how I can get you from this to bliss. And this let me know too, if you go to our website, you can let us know what you thought about the webinar. If you want something else, if you have any questions that maybe we can answer,
definitely.
Just reach out.
Send an email. Yeah. And let Jersey help you break from this relationships.
And how you can help women.
And I help women similarly, but I help them with their career. But you know what? To be honest, I would say for about 9 of 10 women that I work with, they're dealing with some relationship stuff. And that's why I am here and talking about this, because this is stuff I talk about with my clients too. Yeah. Before we even get to the interviews, the resumes, the career change, we have to deal with what's going on with us emotionally inside of us before we can start working on other areas of our life. We have to be good.
And know too that you're not alone. This is also, that's what I wanted this video and this webinar to come out more for you to know that you're not alone, that there are other people like you thinking about these issues and wanting to talk about it. I hope that this was helpful for you. Yes. I'll see you next time, and cheers. Let me know how this was helpful. Bye. Bye.